In this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between falsetto and head voice and bridging. What does it mean and where do we do it? Okay, first of all, falsetto and head voice. I'm going to make this real simple here. Okay, falsetto and head voice are essentially the same thing. The reason why people get confused between the two is because falsetto behaves differently in the low range and the high range. That's why people start thinking of different words. So what happens is this. Most people will say that head voice is basically falsetto that has better chord closure and less breathiness. So falsetto would be ah, and head voice would be more of a ah. It's got more of a clear tone to it. So I'm in my falsetto or I'm in my head voice. Where I disagree is that there's no real need to give a different name to this. It's just one is a very loose, floppy falsetto, and the other is a strong one. Okay, nice, clear, strong one. That's out of the way. So falsetto, head voice, same thing. All right. Now, the second thing is bridging. What is bridging? Bridging is essentially when you cross from chest to falsetto or chest to head voice. The bridge is that area where you feel like you can't take your chest any higher. You feel like it flips. So you're coming up, and you feel that happen. Okay, you feel like you can either strain in chest or flip. All right. Typically, for most males, this will start between the C4 and the E4. So they'll be down here. Okay. It'll be there, or it might be up here on the E4. Look at that. Ladies, you might have that same break or flip around the A4. Or you may have it on the C5. Okay, so that's the typical areas for most male and female breaks to be. After you've trained your voice, that break's actually going to be different. Now, when I first started singing, my break was on the F4 here. That I would break. With training, I've actually gotten that break all the way up to the C5. So on that top note, I'm actually doing what's called bridging. So what is bridging? Bridging is how I make you not hear that I'm crossing from chest to falsetto. See how it actually sounds like it's connected? Because it is. Now here's the thing. What I'm doing is I'm bridging from chest to the head. And you can build that bridge up stronger and stronger and stronger until the point where you can actually pull your chest through it. So it's actually my chest going through it now. Okay. Now, how high you can keep pulling your chest through really depends on what your voice is and whether you're a male or female, how high your voice is naturally, whatever. So when we take our chest voice up high, we reach a point where we've got to bridge. We've got to leave chest and cross over. Now, the question is, where do we do it? Okay. Now, this is where most people get stuck in their vocal training. Most people and most teachers are teaching people to bridge far too early. Most males are taught to do it at the E4, and most females are taught to do it at the A4 or C5. Okay, way too low. Okay, if you try to bridge that low, you will just be going into falsetto. You will disconnect from your voice. This is what it will happen. If I do it down the E4 for a male, it's not going to work. I mean, I can smooth it, but I can't sing in that sound. It's not a connected sound. Likewise, for ladies, being asked to do this on the A4 or C5, it's just way too low. You're going to just be going the falsetto. Ladies can get away with this a little bit better because their voices tend to sound a little bit more connected when they go to falsetto. But it's still, you're not tapping anywhere near your potential. So if it interests you to extend your range in full voice and really sing nice and strong through this area, then you want to pay attention to what we're doing here. So here's where I advise you to bridge. If you're a male, at least get your chest voice to the G4 before you even start experimenting with bridging. At least to the G. Ladies, you want to get it at least to the D5, E5 kind of area, okay, before you start. Preferably, and it depends, most males can get their chest up to an A4 to C5, meaning that they start bridging on either the A4 or the C5. Ladies can, after training, can get their voice up to the E5 to G5 before they start having the bridge. All right. So that gives you an idea of how far you can stretch that chest voice and strengthen your chest voice. Now I'm going to demonstrate what I mean about why it's so important to bridge at the right time. The falsetto doesn't behave correctly if you do it too low. Okay, I've got to grow my chest voice at least to the A for my voice before this is going to work. Every voice is a little bit different. So when I'm on the A, I've got two choices. Or that's me bridging there. Do you hear it kind of thin out? And then I can learn how to strengthen it. And I can connect it now. Okay, I've strengthened it. If I try and do the same thing, if I do that exact same thing way down here on E4, doesn't work. That's the exact same thing. I just tried to do the same thing. It didn't work. Why is that? It's because a falsetto doesn't respond that low. It's the wrong place. I'm trying to bridge in the wrong spot for my voice. My voice isn't meant to bridge that low. And your voice isn't meant to bridge that low. Okay? That's why you've been stuck on this for so long. All right? Most people train with the teacher are told that they should bridge into this. And over time it's going to get stronger. It doesn't get stronger. If it's too low, it doesn't get stronger. If it's in the right spot, then yeah, it will get stronger. So if I do it on the high C, that gets stronger, you know, and that's strong now. You can hear it's really stable and it just sounds like it's my real voice. It's because I've trained it up and I've warmed it up too. I've got to actually warm it up. You know, I've been singing for a little bit today, so my voice is warmed up nicely. So the chest voice is really, really important. We want to build that up first as high as we can. Minimum for the guys, G4, minimum. Ladies, minimum D5, minimum. We want to get that even higher. You know, it's possible for the guys to get it from the A4 up to the C5. Ladies, it's possible to actually get up to the E5 to G5 region before you experience any kind of transition. Now, once you get your chest voices really strong, reliable, strain-free, up to those high ranges, then you can start playing around with bridging from chest to falsetto, and then you're going to find that it's going to fuse together. And as it fuses together and gets stronger, that transition will be more subtle and more subtle to the point where it'll feel like your chest can just go right through it. Okay? So for example, this A, it might start like this. You can hear there's a little transition there. But as it gets stronger, you don't hear any transition now. It just sounds like my chest is going through it. And that's what will happen. As you get stronger, your break will get pushed up higher and higher and higher and become more transparent, more subtle. All right? And you get better at transitioning until the point where you don't really have any transitions in your voice. It just goes all the way through. Now, once you've strengthened your chest voice really high, you've got to get good at bridging. Otherwise, you will always have this big wall, this big break on your voice. You've got to make that break very transparent and very subtle to the point where there's very little shift in the voice and you feel like it's very reliable and you can handle the pressure of songs, not just scales, but the pressure of songs through. Okay, so this is why we call it building the bridge, getting the connection, the chest to head resonances to work right. So I hope that's made it clear. Falsetto can be very airy and weak, or it can be very clear and strong. If I do it down here, very low, it's going to be an airy and weak sound, you know. Yeah, there's no way around that. Okay, I can try and it's the strongest I can get it down there, the clearest I can get it. But up here, it's much easier to get stronger. And the higher I go, it gets easier. Up here, even higher, you know. You can even get you can get very strong. The higher I go, the falsetto gets stronger and stronger. The higher I go, the chest voice gets weaker and the falsetto gets stronger. The lower I go, the chest voice gets stronger, the head voice gets weaker. Does that make sense? So you got to find the area where they're both at a good position, where the chest is ready to give off, where the chest is ready to pass off, and where the head voice is ready to take that baton. You know, it's like sprinting and you take the baton, you cross over. You want to get that point as high as you can. If you do it too low, falsetto is too weak. It can't grab the baton. Chest doesn't want to give it up. Even if you feel like, man, I'm taking my chest so high, if it's around the C4 to E4 for you guys, it's too low. You don't even want to bother with anything to do with bridging. Ladies, you know, if it's A4, C5, don't even bother with bridging. You want to work on the chest. Okay? So I hope that cleared things up. I'll see you around. Thanks for watching.